Hi, folks. Joseph Kursky here with you. Sometimes I get asked, hey, Joseph, show me how you incorporate GIS into a meaningful activity with real world data, solving problems, and communicating the results of GIS analysis. So let's get started doing exactly that. This example is going to highlight trees in an urban area. But think outside the box. This could be litter, this could be water quality, it could be weather, it could be noise, any other activity that incorporates real-world data collection. That's the idea here. Extend this activity into something that you actually care about. So let's get started. With the many skills you are gaining in this course, you are ready to make maps from a set of requirements. The requirements will be based on a real-world scenario, tree mapping for a city. For this activity, you will reuse the methods that you have learned in the previous part of this course to create two maps. Publish them with a web mapping application and share the URL for the app in our Canvas course learning management system. For this activity, since you now have the background necessary to carry it out, I will not be giving you step-by-step instructions. Instead, I describe what the end result should look like, including checklists on finer points. It's your job to go back to what you learned in the previous activities to find out what you need to do to reach this end result. Instead of mapping litter as you did in a previous activity, here you will be mapping trees in New York City, applying several different skills. You will use ArcGIS Online for this activity. Please first read the What to Do tab and make sure you understand the different tasks you need to do. Then work through the activity instructions. Say that the New York City Community Health Department has, knowing about your amazing GIS skills, hired you to make two maps of their urban trees that are along sidewalks and streets. That is, not the trees that are part of parks, wetlands, and other protected areas, and certainly not trees that are in people's backyards. But these urban sidewalk and street trees contribute much to the aesthetics, noise reduction, and health of the city. Some of the trees are over 100 years old. You need to make two maps that give two different views of the city's street trees and will help the city officials determine how best to, number one, keep them healthy, and number two, take action against those in trouble or are in danger of falling on someone or something, a car, a house, an electric cable. Trim them, cut them down, and or plant a new one in its place so the entire city will benefit. First, as always, given what you have learned in this course, you are critical of the data you will be using. You find out that the data are hosted on the New York City Open Data site and gathered from a tree census of street trees in 2015 at the following URL, from data.cityofnewyork.us. Your instructor accessed the above data set and filtered the above data set to those trees that had a dBH, diameter at breast height, of a person standing next to a tree, a common tree measurement, of 50 inches or more. In other words, these are the largest to some truly massive trees in New York City. The tree you've seen pictured is from 973 Madison Street on the Brooklyn-Queens boundary. You will open the following map, which contains a feature service of the trees that your instructor downloaded and filtered from the New York City Open Data portal. So you open this up in ArcGIS Online, click on a tree to see the many attributes that were collected for each tree. By opening the layers table, you will see that the layer contains 364 trees. Again, these are only the largest trees in New York City, the ones I've filtered. The map should look similar to the map you see here. As you will see, as you explore the layer in this map and its attributes, you have a great many variables at your fingertips. Height of the tree, any problems that the tree has, the health of the tree, its common species name, whether there is any sidewalk damage as a result of the tree's roots or position, the New York City borough, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, etc., that the tree is located in, and more. For a complete description of the tree's attributes, go to the New York City Open Data site and look at the attributes. For this activity, you need to create two web maps and one web mapping application. Again, all of the work will be done in ArcGIS Online. First, the two web maps. Number one map showing one characteristic or attribute of trees. You will select the attribute that you feel best fits the needs of the project. Number two, another map showing another attribute of trees. Again, you will select the attribute that you feel best suits the needs of the project. Second, the web mapping application. For the deliverable for this activity, both of your maps need to be accessible in one type of ArcGIS Instant app as one single web mapping application. The Portfolio Instant app will be the most suitable type for you to load both your web maps, number one and number two above, into. The Portfolio app allows you to point to or include more than one web map, hence the name Portfolio, to showcase more than one map. Thus, your users of your portfolio app will be able to access both your number 1 and number 2 web maps. The final deliverable URL that you will submit for this activity is the only URL that you should be turning in, not the URLs for your 2 web maps. Why is that? Again, because through your portfolio web mapping application, your end user, in this case, you and your instructor, will be able to see the contents of your 2 individual web maps. You have already created an instant app using ArcGIS Online in the activities leading up to this activity. Remember? See the instant app list that I provided in the course. However, you have not yet had the opportunity to create a portfolio type of instant app yet. So this activity allows you to have that opportunity to apply what you know to make a new type of instant app. Read more about the portfolio app here in this link. You have complete freedom in creating your 2 web maps, again, choosing attributes, symbology, and classification methods that you think would enable the end user of your content to understand the condition of trees in New York City. Things you will need to think about include, for both maps, the titles of the maps, of the layers and the legend, as well as any pop-ups that you want to include, are all easy to understand and all use real words, no underscores. The styles, symbols, and colors are appropriate and are clear. If you use transparency, that the transparency level of the layers works well. A map legend would probably be very helpful. Additional considerations. Should your maps represent a tree attribute, such as health, as graduated symbol, larger symbols for, say, trees in poorer health, or graduated color, darker green for healthier trees and lighter green for trees with health issues? Should one of your maps represent trees as a heat map instead of a graduated symbol or color? Again, these are just choices you get to make. And lastly, should you filter out the healthy large trees and just focus on the trees with problems? Again, it's up to you. If you do want to filter, see these screen captures. To filter the data, use the filter tool on the right side of ArcGIS Online, and then add new. And one filter could be this: health is poor. And another few things to consider: should your maps cover the default extent, in other words, all of New York City, or should you focus on a certain neighborhood as an example? What attributes will you choose to map? You can even try making a bivariate map for one or both maps, that is, maps that show more than one variable. Interesting. What base map should you choose for your maps? Should each have a different base map, or would that make things less clear? And then the second part of this is to create a portfolio web mapping application. When your 2 maps are ready, you need to choose an instant app to present them. Again, the portfolio app will be quite suitable for this purpose. However, you are free to choose another one if you think another is more suitable, such as the Swipe app. Note that the Swipe app is not in the group of instant apps at this time, so it may take a bit of additional time to learn, but you're welcome to try it out or try another app. For the portfolio web mapping application, the front cover page is interesting, compelling, and describes what the map reader will see when they click Let's Go or whatever text you choose for the cover image. The text description for your web maps are informative. For example, again in the example portfolio app, the description is shown when the map user clicks on the individual maps in your app. The text description should also briefly include a pro or advantage of this app, especially compared with other maps you made, and a con or disadvantage of this app, especially compared with other maps you made. All the titles for the web maps referenced inside your portfolio app and labels are suitable and descriptive. The general layout of the app looks balanced, makes sense, and is nice looking. The app itself, as well as both maps, are all shared with our course online, ArcGIS Online organization. And then the last piece that you need to do is submit the URL to your instructor of your web mapping application. Please do not submit an embedded app through an iframe, because this would prevent me from seeing your app full screen, and full screen is what I need to do to assess your good work. So submit the URL of your web mapping portfolio or other web mapping application. And that, my friends, is an example of mapping from a set of requirements, which I actually have included in a Mapping Our World Introductory Geospatial Technology course. It's engaging. It uses real-world data. It has the students do a little bit of filtering, symbology, classification, and then communicating the results in a web mapping application. I think all of those combined to be a very suitable activity for the end of such a course. And another nice thing about it, I think, a compelling thing and an instructionally valuable thing is that I don't, as you see, give them all kinds of granular details about click here, do this, do that. I give them the requirements, the data set, and a little bit of technological assistance, but not that much, because at this point they should know how to symbolize, how to classify, how to create a web mapping application. Thanks for being with me, and map on.